Hi, this is Terry. Welcome back to my channel. I'm just cracking up because Finn is being a little bit silly, which is really kind of nice. In a recent video, I talked about a CEO opportunity and imposter syndrome and how I wasn't feeling it at all. And I'll go ahead and put a link to it up here. And I've been teasing for a couple of months about this opportunity, and something happened between Wednesday and Thursday of this past week where I took a big step back and took a look at the opportunity, took a look at where I am in my life, where I'm at with my husband, with my kids, where I'm at financially, my interest areas, as well as a couple of little flags that had come up during this process since the middle of June as I was working with my would-be business partner. And in taking a step back and taking a cold, hard look at it, and then also drilling down and taking a look at some things more closely, I realized that it wasn't the right fit. It wasn't the right time. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity that had presented itself. I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn so much, not only about a certain segment of the world, potentially partnering with somebody else. Also learning that I am 100% capable of being a CEO for a startup or even a larger organization. I think I've questioned that in the past, and I'm no longer unsure of that. Well, this wasn't the right opportunity. In the future, there might be a better opportunity for me. In taking a look at my interest level or passion around building a SaaS company and in this specific industry, I realized that my heart just wasn't in it. It was going to be a lot to learn, and I had been really reluctant about really diving in and really getting my hands dirty and really learning so much, and realized that if I can't be passionate about it, it's not the right thing. There are going to be some really hard days, and there are going to be some long days and some long weeks and some hard conversations and a lot of no's in pursuing a big dream. And if I don't have a really, really full bucket of interest and passion, it might be a little bit of a slog. Or it would be too easy to walk away from something if I hadn't put in enough money or just didn't value my time that I put into it. So we got really close to the finish line. We were down to some final negotiations. We hadn't drawn up the final documents, but we were pretty darn close. And I had to tell him, which was incredibly difficult, I had to tell him that I needed to pass on the opportunity. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a shock for him, but fortunately, over the past couple months, helped restructure the company and get him into a better position to be able to move forward in the future. Closed a deal with a major customer, the first major customer of this kind, and set him up with some cash in the bank to be able, not mine, but from the customer, to be able to really give additional runway to explore partnering with somebody else who might be a better fit or who will be a better fit. I just was not the right woman for the job. Also helped set him up with some processes and kind of a checklist to be able to move forward. So I feel good about where I left him and the company. I didn't leave him completely in the lurch. He is set up, and he has some other partners around him, board member, and then some other advisors who can really help him move forward. So I am leaving with a clean and clear conscience that I gave a lot of time over the last couple of months to the company. And I feel good about I don't want to say it was an exercise, because that makes it sound like I didn't take it seriously, because I really did. As I said, on Wednesday, everything was fine. And then on Thursday, something triggered me to take a look, and everything wasn't fine. And this really got me thinking about how important it is to listen to our intuition, check in with our bodies, check in with our guts when we have big decisions to make, or when something isn't sitting well. Is it because we're afraid, or is it because there's something else going on? And oftentimes I have signals to myself, and fortunately I've spent the last couple of years really paying attention to those signals to go, hey, there's something going on here. And while I was working with him over the last couple of months, there were a couple of different things that were like, ooh, that doesn't feel good, but that's not big enough for me to not move forward. And then when I analyzed the whole entire thing, I saw all of them stacked up, and together those made they were pretty compelling in getting me to make this decision. So I think I think I talked about it in the book, and I've talked about it in other times, where our society, especially here in the Silicon Valley, has really leaned towards the analytical. I think I even had a couple podcasts on this a couple years ago for Piloting Your Life, the podcast, and how we've really leaned to the analytical, and we've let go of acknowledging the feminine, the intuition. And this is a time where I truly embraced that feminine intuition, and I challenge you to do the same, or I challenge you to do the same. But I'd also like to know, are there times in your life when you've listened to your gut and you knew it was the right decision to be made, even though it might have been hard, might have been at the last minute? Speaking of which, I wrote the most recent in-flight on altering course. And I was raised to, once you made a decision, you moved forward with it. Once you set a course, you went forward with it. If you made a commitment, you went forward with it. And to compromise that would be to compromise your integrity, potentially be seen as unreliable. And what I have since learned is that we can change our mind, and it's perfectly okay. If we do it in a healthy process with good communication, and if the process has integrity, then we can retain our integrity. But just by choosing to go forward with something because you made that commitment is not always the right thing to do. So would love to know from you if you've had similar experiences. Finn, any thoughts on this?
No, you said it pretty well.
Fantastic. I love having support from you on that, especially when you're waving your hand saying it's time to cut it off. So with that, again, I'd love to hear from you, pilotingyourlife@gmail.com, or on the social or in the comments, and let me know when you listened to your intuition or when you ignored it and really wished that you had listened to it. And with that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and push the subscribe button. We're releasing videos about twice a week now. Back into a routine, hopefully, because I know I enjoy it. Torments Finn, but it's still quite fun. So with that, let go of perfection, take some risks, and above all else, have some fun.